Hello everyone, and welcome to this tutorial of mine again. Today I will be teaching you people how to hash our password. That is hashing our user's password. Once a user registers, we would like to hash their password in such a way that they cannot be hacked by a hacker in the database. So let me walk you through what we'll be doing. Here's our login form. As you can see, this is our database. We have no record in our database yet, but we can pass in some. So let's go to the sign up page. Let's try this as another page. Let's try registering a user. So let's say password and enter well, you can view your password like this because I added this button. This is just simple JavaScript. In my last tutorial I have a tutorial on how to do this, how to implement this feature. So now let's register this user. Yeah, you can see we are being logged in right now in our login form, where you have this message saying you have been registered, and you have this email, your email being displayed, and just a short message. That's just all about the app. And now you have a logout button. Let's head on to the database to see whether we have now a record. And yes, we have a user record in our database. Now you can see that currently we are inserting our user's password in the database without encrypting it, that is without hashing it, which is actually not good at all because it's open to theft. So let's head on to this video and implement what we are about to do. That's hashing the user's password. First of all, let's log out. You can see this feature, and we're being logged out. So let's head on to the backend and start implementing our feature. So first of all, this is our code base. I will be adding the link to the source code in the description below. And now this you see, let's head on to our registration script, which is this. Yes. And right here after this if statement, I will say when we select the email from the user database, we test whether the email exists or not. So we check if the user does exist, then encrypt their password and register the user. But right now we are seeing that we are not encrypting the password, we are registering the user without encrypting the user's password. So let's head on to do that with here. First of all, that's just a function we'll be adding, so it's not something really bad. So we're registering the password. We'll be using password hash for this. That's why I didn't tell you. So if you want to know more about password hash function, you can head on to the php.net documentary site to know more about the PHP hash function. Yes. So and yeah, so let's head on to passing and to implementing the feature. So that's password and for hash function. This function takes first of all the string password which we are about to hash. Then it takes the method that's a function that implements the feature. So we'll be using password underscore bcrypt, which is one of the strongest and really recommended. Right here. So password and for bcrypt. Yeah, you can also set some other features such as an array of features such as the cost, which if you want to know more about this, you can actually head on to that documentary, the php.net documentary site, and read more about this. Let's set it. It has a default feature which is 8 or either 8 or 10, so I can use 8. Yeah, it's an integer actually, So right here you can see that we used a $2 encryption method to encrypt our password. So right now our user's password is being encrypted before being passed on to the database. So let's view this. Let's go ahead and first of all let's validate it before continuing. So actually let's go down the query. Let's do everything. So I'll show you the routine. Just end execution here. Now let's head on to the browser and try this out. Head on to the sign up page. Now let's go. Try this. You can see that we have a hash password being passed onto our database. This is the value, and it takes a $2 dollar method format, and these are the feeds. So you can see that we are hashing our password now before sending it onto the database. So what we'll be doing next will be, let's move this and let's log in our user. Let's just refresh the page and follow with the previous request. This email already exists, which means that we have the email already. Now here's the initial email we used. We have to delete that. Now let's try it out again. Let me see. Alright, stay there. So I need to fill in the form again. We see that we're being logged in right away, and this is our email. Let's head on to our database to view the record. Yeah, you see this is the second record we inserted into our database, and the password is being hashed. Now don't be afraid about your password being hashed by hackers. Right now is this password hash method of decrypt. Actually uses the crypt starfish this thing encryption, which is actually strong and not easily hackable, so you shouldn't be afraid about that. So let's head on to login, because right now you can just, when the user is registered, the user is automatically logged in. Now what if the user logs out from their account and wants to log in again? Now let's try to implement that. You see, let's use the user with our not the second user. And here we have the user password canvas. Now let's show it as cannot. Login. We have an error. Yeah, this is an error. This error says this email doesn't exist in the database. Actually, yes, let's see. It's another, sorry, a mistake. Now let's log in again, and here you see we are being logged in. But actually, logging in doesn't mean that. I don't think we did user authentication yet. Yeah, we are being logged in. Yes, this is correct, but there's something we are not doing here. Now let's head into our code base and let me show you what is happening. Actually, this is a login script. When the user enters his credential, he will have credentials, and clicks on the submit on the login button. What I'm doing here is I'm just checking whether the user's email matches the email that has been passed in by the user in the field. I didn't check about the password, so that's what I want us to do now here. I want us to verify whether the password in the database matches the password that the user just entered. So the user can enter any password from now. That means password verification here is not actually, authentication here is not actually implemented. So let's implement that feature. So what we're doing, I will come right here inside of MySQL underscore rows. That's where you have a row. Yes. Yeah, we'll get our user's credentials. So what I want us to do here is I want to select the email, select the record from the database where the email is equal to the email that the user just passed in. And when that's successful, that means when we have a row, when we have a record in the database on that, what I want to do now is to verify the user's password. I want us to verify if the password is the same. So to verify that password, first of all, we need to fetch everything from the result that we just had, every row, every column, value base. So we are getting the values, and what I want to do now here is we want to check if the password, want to verify the password that you just entered with the password, the hash password in the database, or the hash in the database. So what we'll do, we check, because our PHP our PHP password underscore verify function returns a boolean, can either be true or false. Those are the two values it can return. So what we'll be doing here, we'll be checking if that password verify function returns a true value or not. So let's say password underscore verify, which is a function that takes the password that's just been entered by the user and the hash password from the database. So I will be using this way, since I collected everything from the database using the user function right here, MySQL fetch associative. So enter it like such, and the name we need is the password, which is password. Now we want to check that if this value returns a true, if our password underscore verify function returns true, then we want to continue with whatsoever we are doing. We want to proceed. Yeah. Else, that means we want to set in user data into sessions and review them on the home page. Else, we want to throw in an error. So we're using an array push, adding an error onto our errors array. The error will be, since we are checking for password verification, we are checking for password, we are authenticating the password. So we say user password. So I have this problem with my keys, that's why I'm too slow at typing. User password. Maybe say wrong. I don't want the user to actually know what's happening, so I just say wrong user credentials. Yeah. So from here we can see that we've implemented a feature. Actually, now if we log in, our password verify function will verify whether our password matches the hash password in the database. If not, it returns an error. So now let's log out from this account and try logging in again. That is anoders@gmail.com. anoders@gmail.com. Let's enter a wrong password, like false password as such. Click. I'll get this message saying that wrong user credentials. Actually, our password happened was our password verification function, verify function, actually tried verifying our password, the two password, the hash password from the database and the entered password by the user. That means the wrong password I just entered. And since they didn't match, it returned a boolean, which is false value. So since I added an else statement, an else clause, we now pushed an error onto my arrays variable with this message. So that's why I was displaying on the screen right here. So let's try entering now user's correct password. That's anoders. What is anoders? I think it was Arnold. And now it is being verified and we have access granted. Now that's all I wanted to show you today, and thank you for watching. See you next time. Please subscribe to my channel for more.